Okay, guys, this is Aqua's first experience on a leash. So, she's never seen a leash before, besides, probably about 5 minutes ago. She did her flipping out, which I didn't think you guys would want to see, because it's unpleasant to watch when a headstrong dog thinks that they have no right to be tethered. They get very upset. So anyway, now she's calmed down, she's chilled out, she's accepted that we have this horrible leash thing on her, and we're going to proceed from there. So, okay, Audrey, try to walk her, and I will walk you through what you need to do. So, as you see, Audrey's got a leash on her, and you can see that when she's trying to communicate with her, she tightens the leash. But for the most part, she leaves it slack. Okay? Now, Aqua's problem right now is that she's not really sure about this leash. So she's not trying to get away from us as much as she's trying to figure out why we've tied her to a piece of string. So right now, she's not pulling us around and dragging us around. She's sitting down and telling us that she doesn't want to do it. So when you have a dog that wants to do that, and Aqua is refusing food because she's a little stressed out right now, what you got to do is communicate with your body, your voice, and your reaction to what she does. So Audrey, go ahead and try to get her to come to you. Walk backwards. A good girl. Walk. There you go. So, as you can see, she tightens it just to kind of communicate with her that she wants her to come towards her. But as soon as she makes the decision to come towards her, she stops pulling on that leash. She stops making that correction. And then the leash becomes slack again. So that way she's deciding what to do. And we're rewarding her for that behavior to walk with us with the leash. Okay, so try to walk again. Walk backwards, face her. There you go. Praise her. Good girl. So that was perfectly executed. She looked at the dog, got her attention, made sure that the attention was on her, because this is very distracting. There's cars, there's cats roaming around, and everything else. So we got to make sure that we have our dog's attention, right? So notice she's correcting her from pulling on the leash, but then she lets it relax. Once the dog has decided that she's where she needs to be and she's making a good choice, we stop that correction. So try to walk around, and let's see if we can eventually get to a point where you're standing up. But right now you still need to be hunched over and gaining her attention. Good job. Go ahead and stop and give her a reward. Yay! Now stand up straight and see if she'll walk with you. Good job. So she's still facing the dog. She's still walking backwards. So she's going to slowly, eventually, come out of that. Oh, there's a cat. Pull her, correct her, get your attention back on her, you. There you go. And then the leash becomes slack again. Get her attention, and then walk backwards.
Come on.
Now, I don't know if most of you have put a leash on your dogs yet. I'm sure, especially if they're pets, you have, to take them to the vet, to take them out to socialize. So I'm sure that you have the opposite problem, where your dog's pulling is pulling in front of you instead of behind you. So in that instance, you're just going to do it the exact same thing, but it's going to be from the opposite direction. So Audrey, go ahead and try and get her attention. So the key with keeping a dog on a leash, your first step is making sure that you have their attention. If you don't have their attention, it's not going to work. So whether their attention is in front of you or behind you, it doesn't really matter. The key is getting their attention. Whether it's with food, whether it's getting down on the ground and giving them attention, any way that they will respond to you, you need to do. And everybody's going to look different, so just try and walk through. If your dog responds to food, great. If your dog has a favorite toy, only use it during training sessions while they're a puppy. They should have enough training sessions so that that's not a problem. Loosen the leash. So, and if your dog just loves you and loves attention and affection, like Aqua, then use it to your advantage. Walk backwards. So always show the dog the direction you want to go. If it's walking backwards, then tug while walking backwards. If it's walking forwards, you're going to do the opposite thing. Uh-oh, it's eating the cat time. So, if the cat is the motivation, then you have a problem, because it's very hard to control a cat to help in the teaching sessions.
Especially this little children. Come on. Yep. Sylvester.
Slacken the leash. Pull. Try to gain her attention. There you go. Good job, guys. Oh, yeah. Cats are horrible. They're horrible training partners. They get you into trouble every time. So, just a few things. These guys, they don't like long training sessions, especially during this hot weather. Make sure to give them plenty of breaks, plenty of fluids, plenty of water, or at least access to water during that time. If they pull you over to the water bowl, by all means, do not consider that a problem. Go ahead and let them get a drink of water. We don't want our dogs overheating. But the key here is all about the bond. More than anything else, it's the bond. And that's because these dogs are bred to be out in that field working independently, and they have to, in order to protect the flock that they are normally with, they have to have the brains and the leadership to do that. So if they're going to accept you telling them what to do when every part of their breeding has said that they need to be the ones telling everybody else what to do, you need to establish a very strong bond between you and that dog. So take the time, do the hugs, do the petting, do the kissing, do the playing, and make sure that during your training sessions, you get a lot of that in too. That's gonna work 100 times more than any food motivation or prey drive with these dogs. And that's where it's going to be different than what other dog training videos are going to tell you, is because the other dog training videos are probably going to be like, find your dog's motivation. But these guys are going to be hard, and they're going to change around as far as the motivation. So you're always going to be challenged, which is a good thing. We like it when our dogs challenge us, but the bond is everything. Put her down. We don't want to teach her to jump. So go ahead, give her another try.
I'm walking or?
Yeah. So the beginnings of leash training are going to look a lot like your your come command in the fact that you're going to have the leash on them and you're going to be using their name and come a lot. But that tug, releasing the slack in the leash, and moving in the direction you want the dog to go. So you have to make sure that you have a lot of slack in that leash when you want to move backwards 3 steps. If you're already at the end of that leash, you're not going to have enough space to move backwards to show the dog which direction you want them to go. Remember, they don't know our language yet. We're still teaching them the language of humans. So until they learn that, it's all about body language, communication. So if Audrey had a piece of food in her hand, let's say your dog is food motivated, and you want to try and use food. So now that she's calmed down a little bit and, you know, the leash isn't the end of the world, she is noticing the food. So stand up, Audrey, walk backwards. And see, it's much easier when an animal is food or prey driven. So prey would be toys, because it's easier to get their attention and keep it. So it's very easy to walk on a leash and to keep that line slack. If she thinks, oh, I'm going to get food or a toy if I do this, or if I follow the food or the toy. What we have to teach her is that the food or the toy is given when she learns things. So once she understands that we are the givers of the lovely food and toy, it's much easier to walk on a leash. So if you do have a food motivated dog, it makes it, or a toy motivated dog, it makes it a lot easier in the sense that you just have to remember to keep that food. Because show her the food. Even if distractions come along, it makes it a lot easier to get her attention back.
Like with food, it's more of a distraction than otherwise.
So try and walk normal like you would walking on a leash. Show her that you have the food. There you go. So eventually what you're going to do is you're going to hold this in the hand that you have the leash in, and you're going to walk. No, okay, what did I just say? Hold the food in the hand that you have the leash in, and walk. Turn around and walk like you normally would. Show her that you have the food. Loosen the slack on the line. Pull it and show her that you have the food. There you go. Now walk like you normally would. There you go. So, if your dog is food or prey orientated, this is how teaching it to be on the leash would look. You have her attention. So it's all about getting that attention. Keeping the line loose, because we're trying to teach the dog to do what we want to do without actually having to physically pull the dog or make the dog do what we want it to do. Because eventually these guys are going to be too big for you to be pushing them around. So we need her to decide on her own to walk properly on the leash, and we need to show her how that looks. Show her you have the food. Get down. Get her attention. There you go. Tug. Tug. And walk back. Walk in the direction you want her to go. There you go. You got her attention now. Give her the treat. There you go. So I kind of hope this helps to show you what our guys look like during the training experience.
I think I'm going to eat it all.
because I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to make another video, and I'm going to show you the difference of my expectations, which are going to be different from people that are doing this for a pet. So let me clarify that. The next video that I post is going to be the difference that I want to show you between what I expect from my Malinois and what I expect from my LGD. With that being said, my Malinois is an inside pet that needs to be with humans more, so I need to make sure that she understands and has better manners than my LGD, who's out in the field, and I just need to make sure that I'm able to keep him safe. And there's more of a mutual respect between me and the LGD dog in understanding. So that's kind of hard to explain. While I respect both of my dogs, there's a bigger bond and respect that I understand that my LGD dog wants to and needs to be in charge in order to stay safe with my animals, whereas that's not needed in my home. My dog's always safe as far as she doesn't need to be a leader. I need to be the leader in the home. So I'm going to bring out my dog Surrey and my dog Max, and I'm going to show you the difference on the recalls that I have for Max and Surrey. And maybe I'll show you Leash. I'm not sure. But hopefully you'll see the difference, and you'll get to know that these guys, while you can expect certain things from them, they're not going to be like all the rest of the world. So just watch that video. I'm going to try and show you the difference. And maybe I don't have the equipment to like record things and then go back over with audio or anything. So I'm going to have to either, and that's what makes this hard, I'm going to have to either record it and then maybe like write a paragraph or something. But I'll think that up. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys are aware that when you go to a dog trainers are going to be typically used to what you're going to see out of Surrey. They're going to expect things that you're going to see out of Surrey. Whereas unless they've trained LGD dogs and know that it's different, you're going to get trainers that could quite possibly ruin the relationship between you and your dog. And we don't want that, because that would be a really bad thing. You want that strong bond between you and your LGD dog. So look for the next video, and I will make sure that I post these at the same time. But we're going to go switch out and get Surrey first, and then we'll get Max, and I will try to figure out how I'm going to do a comparison between the two. But I'm trying to do this so that you have some understanding of, as a dog trainer, what I expect my dogs to do, with the reality that some of you have chosen these as pets. And I have that understanding, and I know that you need a lot more out of your pet than you're going to see from Max. So I understand that. I will help you as much as I can to make your Great Pyrenees look like Surrey. I just don't want you to think that it's impossible. It's just that in the process of training your dog, don't ruin your bond. And I'm going to try to help you along with that. Okay, bye.